Hello again. In the last video I mentioned that I sometimes get triggered when people in front of me doesn't use their blinking lights in traffic. And maybe blinking lights is a Swinglish expression, I don't know. But what I mean is when people doesn't use their turn signals. But situations like this can really be a very good spiritual practice if we learn to handle this better. Because situations like this can really make us more unconscious or more conscious. We really have a choice, but we only have a choice if we are aware. That's why awareness is so important, because if we're not aware, we just act unconsciously like on autopilot. We just react, and that is not good, because for two reasons. Because one, we miss the present moment, like we are in our head. Like if I get upset, I'm just in my head and thinking about all the reasons why the driver in front of me doesn't use his turn signals. And probably none of these reasons my mind come up with are true. And now I miss everything that's going on around me because I'm just in my head. And that is not good. And that's also why accidents can happen, because you're thinking of something else. You're not present in the moment. And most of the accidents are happening when people are not present. And even more accidents are happening when people are unconscious. Because if you get really upset in traffic, like road rage, then you do maybe really stupid stuff. You drive really fast, or you scream and yell, or you don't look, and then suddenly a crash happens. So that is not good. That's why it's so important to be present and aware in whatever you do. And the second reason that it's not good to be triggered is that other people determine how I feel. And like I said in the last video, we should really be the master over our own kingdom. It's not good if we let other people and situations determine how we feel all the time. So we should take control of our inner world, and that is possible. We just have to learn how to do it. So these triggering situations can actually be a good spiritual practice, because when we feel a disturbance in the force, I like that expression a lot. It comes from Star Wars, and but Michael Singer is using this a lot in his teaching, and I haven't thought about it before until Michael Singer talked about it. But there is a lot of good wisdom in Star Wars, like the disturbance in the Force, and also when when Yoda are teaching Luke, you know, all his wisdom he gives to Luke Skywalker. And then you have this fight between good and evil. Like I think that was like a very spiritual movie, Star Wars. But so when we feel this disturbance in the Force, we feel the energy is shifting inside of us. We don't feel the same. So I feel good driving around. I look at nature. I appreciate the drive and the nature around me. But suddenly the driver in front of me doesn't use his turn signal, and I can feel a disturbance in my force. I can feel my energy is shifting. I don't feel the same I did a second ago. I can feel like I'm getting upset. But now, like I said, I have two choices. I can react and be upset for who knows how long, or I can be present. And if I can be present in situations like this, that can really grow my presence muscle. Like my presence power can increase. So when we get triggered, my advice today is to notice that you are getting triggered, and that you have a choice now between being unconscious or conscious. And if you can choose to be conscious, some of that negative energy that you feel, like upset and anger, can really transmute into presence power and make you more present. So when the next thing happens, you will be more present in that situation. That's why these small things can be really good teacher and stepping stones for being more present. So that's why spirituality is your everyday life, and that's why I like Michael Singer teaching so much, because that's what he teaches. And for those of you who doesn't maybe know who Michael Singer is, he's one of my favorite guru, together with Eckhart Tolle and Sadhguru. And he has written 3 books about spirituality that I can all recommend. The first one is called The Untethered Soul. The other one is called Surrender Experiment, and the third one he just released in May is called Living Untethered. And his first book, The Untethered Soul, is one of Oprah Winfrey's favorite books, and I will show you here a clip from an interview that she did with him like 10 years ago that I really like.
In the early 70s, Michael Singer was a young economics student studying for his doctorate. Sitting with a friend one day, he noticed a lull in their conversation, and in that quiet little lull moment, he became aware of the thoughts that were running through his head. He realized that that voice, that incessant voice that expresses worries and doubts and anxieties, was not really him, but he was the observer of the voice. That inner dialogue was an expression of his psyche, not his soul. And that was the beginning of his awakening.
And that was my path. That was the beginning of my path.
So what happened actually in that moment now that you can describe? I know Eckhart Tolle has said that that is the awareness, the awareness of the thoughts, or the awareness of the voice inside your head is where consciousness resides. And that is who we really are.
Yes.
So that's what you came to.
Yes.
That was your open door.
Yes.
To the path to understanding yourself as a spiritual being inside a physical human body.
With a mind.
And isn't this the most important thing ever?
Period.
To get the
Period.
Bar none.
None. Is the
this
most
is the road
important
to the
thing.
spiritual path.
Yes.
Is to understand that you are a spiritual being. And the way to understand that you are a spiritual being is to know that you are not all of those thoughts.
That's the key. Right? Because so far we can't say what you are, because that's a thought, right?
Right, that's a thought.
Just, you know you're not the thought. Why? Because I'm watching it.
Yes.
You are there watching these thoughts. And sometimes people say to me, but which of those are me? None of them are you. You are the one who's watching.
So I like this clip because it emphasizes that we are not our thoughts, that we are the awareness behind our thoughts. And that is a big part of spirituality, to not identify with our mind. And it also emphasizes that spirituality is the most important thing we can learn. Everything else is really secondary. So I can really recommend watching the whole video, and I will put the link to this video in the description box below, so you can click on it there. But the message for this video is that try to be aware when you are getting triggered. It could be in traffic, or it could be at work, or it could be at home. Whatever happens in your life, when you feel this disturbance in the force, you have a choice. Either be upset, angry, unconscious, or calm and present. And if you can learn how to be present, you will come to a point where nothing really is bothering you anymore, and then you have achieved a very high state. But that's everything I had to share for today. I thank you very much for watching. Please click the like button if you like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you want, and I see you in the next video.